Today, I will tell you about the significance of mental health awareness. It is important to spread awareness of mental illness because of the large percentage of those who suffer from various conditions, to properly assist those with mental illness, and encourage victims to receive treatment. Societies typically characterize individuals as normal if they lack any evident flaws. It is critical for people who suffer from a mental illness to feel normal and accepted. They will be more likely to take action against their mental illness and speak out for those who fear to speak out against it. An immense amount of adults suffer from a mental illness each year. According to Mental Health by the Numbers, an online article published in 2016, nearly 1 in 5 adults that reside in America will experience mental health illness in a given year. 1 in 25 of these adults' conditions will be so severe that they will be forced to limit their everyday activities. Not only is mental illness prevalent among adult populations, but also common among juveniles. According to Mental Health by the Numbers, 1 in 5 teens will experience a severe mental illness. Shockingly, nearly half of all mental illnesses will begin by the age of 14. Growing up in modern times seems to be getting more difficult. According to Tamana Simmons' online article, Why Mental Health Education in Schools Must Be a Priority, published in 2013, the increase of freedom of choice results in many children living confused childhoods, resulting in the fear of expressing their uniqueness. Children are also forced to make decisions at early ages, which vastly increases stress levels. Their decisions include college choices and career choices. If people feel uncomfortable voicing their struggle with mental illness, they may cope by responding with violence. An example of this is Bath's school disaster in 1927. This is one of the oldest and deadliest school massacres in history. According to George Anas's and James Knowles' online article, Mass Shootings and Mental Illness, 44 people were killed by this bombing. George Anas's article discusses the triggers that drove Kehoe to place explosives in a school. Prior to this massacre, Kehoe had been informed that his house and his farm were being foreclosed. Kehoe's wife was also very sick, and after he bombed the school, he proceeded to burn down his farm and murdered his wife. The question can be raised, what could have occurred to prevent this horrific event? If Kehoe would have spoken out about his financial struggles and his struggles to mentally cope with it, would this have still occurred? Columbine High School shooting is one of the most well-known shootings in the history of America. It is important to educate peers so they can properly handle horrific incidents seen such as this. The novel, A Columbine Survivor's Story, published by Mallory and Peggy Lindenholm in 2005, describes how traumatic it was to essentially be defenseless in this situation. She witnessed her teachers and peers being massacred. It is encouraged for students to learn and clearly understand warning signs of someone who is mentally unstable. Also, students are encouraged to understand how to respond in this type of situation. It is questioned whether action is really taken to avoid circumstances such as this. Treatment is often encouraged for individuals who suffer from a mental illness. One common form of treatment is medication. According to Mental Health by the Numbers, only 41% of adults who suffer from a mental illness will pursue some form of treatment. Due to the immense amount of adults who suffer from mental illness, nearly $193.2 billion of earnings in America is lost annually. Also, according to Mental Health by the Numbers, another reason treatment is encouraged is because suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. Today, I told you about the percentage of individuals suffering from a mental condition, the significance of educating peers, and the importance of receiving treatment before horrific events occur.